Hi and welcome. I decided to do country. This is part two of how I got started in country. Steve was a writer. He invited me to come to his home once again and record a song. We looked at the gold records, platinum records. He had a song publishing. He did not sign me. There was various reasons. Wife took me in the back and talked to me and told me it was bittersweet. He was an artist and a businessman, and it tended to get in the way. He was lost in his feelings. So, and I gave in a previous show, separating business from feelings. I gave in a previous show, Separate Business from Feelings. This is country. I am Chantel Hart, originally Sonia. I own a radio station in Milwaukee. I am syncing the two together to the new Spreaker broadcast, the Chantel Hart Show. Steve was a songwriter, gold plaque record he earned with the country legacy artist, and as well as platinum as well. And he opened up his own music publishing. He was a bittersweet artist, and his feelings would he would get lost in his feelings. It would be bittersweet because he wanted the dream of being the next big artist. And he was huge locally, a few places out of town, and that's enough in its own right. He made an earning wealth enough to survive. But you have to keep this going. So usually it looks like it's a lot, but when you see the bills, you see and understand why the grind and hustle is so hard out here, far as any music genre, and keeping it going and building and creating a music vehicle and entity out of it. So country, I was invited to the Music Row after we recorded it in his home studio in Nashville, Tennessee, 2010. Rainy Nights was born. He already wrote it, and I think it was put away on a shelf. Maybe he let others buy it and record it just to do something to get a feel of like a workshop seminar. And they came to his house, and he would give tracks, or they would bring their own or write their own material. But anyways, we met online, networking, and I drove out there, me and my father, and he explained his story and his love, and he shared that with me. Long story short, we're at the Tracking Center Music Row recording. Years prior, before that, I got offered a record deal with Curb Records. A woman promised me a deal, but I didn't have the look, the sex appeal. So she said, lose weight, come back, and you're a big star. Well, when I slimmed down enough, somehow she had been out of business or moved, or they ran her out of Nashville. And it was right after I had been crying about it, and people was trying to get rid of her. So my story came about with country, Rainy Nights. He heard my voice and said, country needs you, and you're the black soul Carrie Underwood. So that's how I was birthed into the country music world. And I'm going to connect that as a reality show. And I'm excited. I'm intimidated when it comes to re-recording Dolly Parton's song, because Whitney Houston covered that. Not a hater, but intimidated, which means big shoes to fill, which means it could be a nightmare for critics, or a birthing of something great sound for critics, which means the critics are upset and I anger them or irritate them. It could be haunting for me. My grandparents was a gospel famous couple who did the church industry only. And that's before Dr. Bobby Jones really got his big take as Dr. Bobby Jones. It was the early years. And before that, he was also the mentor of Isaac Hayes and many other groups out there that my grandfather trained. He did the country gospel field and was signed to Jules Records, which is a spin-off indie label of the 45 HSC of Cadillac Records. So my grandfather, now I am a spin-off legacy of Cadillac Records. He was known as the famous songbird, so he introduced country to me as a child, and I wasn't really interested in it. I was lost in R&B, and I got lost into jazz later teen years, and a woman, and I figured that's where I belong. The classics, remakes like Nat King Cole, Natalie Cole, Nancy Wilson, and those artists, as well as having the genre love for Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Usher, and Brandy Monica at the time of my growing up in the 90s. I am an 80s baby, so I appreciate the classic years of the retro 80s, as well as throwback. Well, anyways, long story short, my birthing of Rainy Nights, I shared a two band, huge big band musicians came in and played as I shared looking in the windows. We were all looking out. It's like a live music video recording, but I didn't have the media any footage to prove this. But I will go back and eventually have that feel again on a new single project. And I'm making a album that's coming about, and it's in the works. So let's keep our fingers crossed and prayers open to see, can this really take off from one song spinoff and followers, and to see if you're really feeling this and if you're with me. So it's probably going to bring a lot of successfulness out of it. My fingers are crossed, and I don't want to say luck, I want to say blessings, that Rainy Nights bring about a new height for the songwriter as well, myself, and becoming a new country edge jazz singer. So right now, kicking off this afternoon is Who Am I? This is the Chantel Hart Show, live on Spreaker broadcast.
Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah, no doubt, Lord's Fellowship, illustrate, you'll be real. Represent for the Sackcloth Fashion Expo, holding it down for Denver, Colorado. Underground and unseen. Deemed an MC from the womb, so I'm born to rock eternally. Confirm through spoken word, get grounds for open heart surgery. Transform for the old, so I'm not half the man I used to be. My life remains vain unless Christ's name's on my eulogy. So tell me who you be and the one you represent for. A man's life is but a blink, so tell me if you think you hardcore. Let's lay the law, see what's really going down. Every breath is God's gift, so how that sound? MCs go rhyme for rhyme, head to head and flow for flow, and make claims of credibility over swollen egos. Y'all need to know in actuality who controls the wide rhythms of drum tracks and crazy ill tempos. I look into myself to see what my eyes behold. Just a man drenched in sin is the story now unfolds. So I would load on transmissions of optimism, bathe clean in the bloodstream, stepping out of the catechism. Journey through the trenches to discover who I am. Realized I was nothing once I found the I am. Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another writing rhymes, y'all guided by the spirit. Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another writing rhymes, but the spirit's my vehicular.
I'm in love with the written and I can't stand the bitten. Hold on to your seats, I'm a hardcore Christian. Y'all tripping, need to stop, look and listen. I got 66 books to piece the risen. I'm in effect, LX slapped off the devil's necks. I'm a king man, corner off the mic. Underground and unseen in the flaming fire. Amelia, open up your eyes, it's time to bone collect. Peep the realness, if the E ain't after the B, I gotta ask myself, do you know me? I illustrate the Alpha and Omega, even if it seems like I'm doing it all by my lonely. You should've never revoked me, now my rhyme scheme is unidentified. A teardrop from my eye the day the lyric got crucified. I know the devil's a lie, because they even let Jesus down. Save the children and take the keys from hell. While I'm doing that, I vocalize over the breakdown. Now my rewind got the Holy Ghost sounding all off across the airwaves. I just wanna be saved, every day with the gifts of God like a holiday. I am what I am, that's what I be. As I exit the earth by spreading my wings towards the heavenlies.
Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another writing rhymes, y'all guided by the spirit. Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another right rhymes, but the spirit's my vehicular. Transportation to elevate to the next plane. Gathering new strands and connecting with the mainframe. Reforming brings change long as the subject is willing. While kids be grabbing the mic in the hopes of making a killing. What's the deal you dealing, Mr. Illa be willing? We must receive forgiveness before we can catch the feeling. So y'all can bring your skills in a full assault for combat. Empty four-letter curses and still couldn't harm that. Saved by the blood roaming the lands of Colorado. Following hip-hop since the rhymes give the hollow if they lack the heart of truth. Riding off an image, trading deception to our youth. While I claim supremacy to no one. Seeking out the guidance of God to sting like the darts of a blowgun. Each time I'm a-flowing in the hopes that we all learn. While MCs be flapping their jaws, I'ma just wait for my turn and let the fire burn. As revival fire starts to fall, give praise to the majestic in the hopes he takes them all. All rhymes are written in efforts to show who Christ is. Lord's fellowship come with skills to show the night. Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another writing rhymes, y'all guided by the spirit. Who am I? Nothing more than dust from the earth. Who am I? Just the thought that God has given birth. Who am I? Nobody in particular. Just another writing rhymes, but the spirit's my vehicular.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi.
I'm